Hello Amazon. Today I'm looking at this Qcam by Amcrest. It's a 3 megapixel outdoor or indoor security camera. It's what's called POE, which is power over Ethernet. We'll get into that a little more later. First off, this review is for the camera only. I feel like there's a lot of confusion and mixed reviews with this product because it's on the same page as the bundle that comes with the network video recorder. So there's a lot of questions out there that seem to be misleading people because they're asking about the bundle versus the camera. So first off, let me say, if you see this duct tape on here, I'm just using that to cover up some of the identifying numbers that are unique to this camera. I don't want to share those with the whole world. So first thing I noticed when I opened this camera is just how heavy it is. It just feels solid. Everything is made out of metal. It doesn't feel like a cheap piece of plastic. It feels like a nice solid product. To adjust everything, you're going to be using these little hex screws here. It does come included with a hex key, some mounting screws, and some little anchors if you're going to be installing this on a wall. Also included is a quick start guide. Not super useful, unfortunately. Again, as I say in my written review, the software suite that came with this camera I only used to set it up. There's a whole lot of bad reviews about the software suite out there. Personally, I feel like there's better third-party software options to utilize security cameras, which is what I've done with this camera. You're also going to get a couple different stickers. This is a mounting pattern for the screw holes, and if you want to brag about the fact that you're using security cameras, a little sticker there. I can't remember offhand the length on the Ethernet cable that comes with the camera. I believe it's 50 feet, but I could be wrong there. Okay, so let's dive in. First thing first, Amcrest used to have some of the best reviews on Amazon for their security cameras. I'm not entirely sure what they have going on. It seems like they're doing some different product branding now. They've got this Qcam by Amcrest, and then they're also selling a Pro HD line now. My assumption is, I don't know this for sure, that the Qcam series is designed to be more of a budget option because they are a little less expensive than the Pro HD series. But again, I'm not entirely sure what they've got going on there. So let's get into the POE aspect of this camera, which is, like I said, power over Ethernet. I think this is another thing that's leading to some of the mixed reviews on this camera. So what makes POE cameras nice is that if you have the network to support it, you can run the entire camera off one cable, which is the Ethernet cable. So again, if you have the network to support it, you can get your power, your network, and your video feed all through the one cable. The downside there is that most consumer networking products do not support power over Ethernet. So the router you got at Best Buy, the router that AT&T gave you when they came out and installed your internet, is not going to power this camera. So if you just buy the standalone camera and plug it into your router, it's not going to work because it's not going to get any power. So not sure why, but Amcrest did not include an AC adapter to run this camera. So you can see here is where if you have the right adapter, you can plug the camera into the wall to power it, and then you can plug it directly into your network just using a standard Ethernet protocol, included cable. So the other thing that was a little frustrating is I could not find in the documentation, again, it just comes with this little quick start guide, and I could not find the recommended DC adapter that Amcrest wants you to use to power this camera. So in the online documentation, it says that the camera draws less than 8 volts. Just through some research, I know that security cameras don't tend to draw more than 500 milliamps. You're going to get more than that if you're using servos to control the position of the camera. This one does not have the servos. It's the position is controlled manually. But even with the infrared lights, you're probably not going to be drawing more than 500 milliamps for this security camera. So I was able to power it using a 7.5 volt 500 milliamp DC adapter. My assumption is that you could safely power this camera using a 12 volt 2 amp adapter. I wouldn't go any higher than that, and again, there's no real official word from Amcrest on what it supports. So if you are going to use those DC adapters, do that do that at your own risk. So I was able to power it off the wall and plug it into my standard router. Again, this is your, get this out of here. This is your software suite here. There's just one program on there. I think it's called Quick Connect. Regardless of how you use the camera, you are going to need to install this on a Windows computer to do the first initial setup on the camera. So once you do that, I was able to get in using that software to assign it a static IP address to change the default password, and from there I was able to connect it to my router. Now, like I said in my rating review, if you're a little bit tech savvy, this is a great camera. So I have a home server that I run an Ubuntu headless server on, and I was able to install Zone Monitor on my server, which is able to monitor and utilize this camera just fine. I think the image quality is great. Keep in mind the image quality is going to suffer if you're using a not very good internet connection. I know there are some reviews where people are talking about they don't like the image quality. And personally, I think the image quality is absolutely great. Nighttime, as you can see, in my 2 images that I posted with this, I've been using this to test it out over my son's crib, and I think the infrared quality is great. Some people complain about the slight red glow you're going to get from these infrared LEDs. Some people have said in the reviews that they feel like that means they're cheap LEDs. It's not entirely the case. Basically what it means is, because you're getting a tiny red glow off of there, basically the trade-off is you get a better viewing distance at night. So if they used a different spectrum of infrared LED that did not have the red glow, you wouldn't be able to see as far. And when I say glow, I don't mean like there's a big bright glow emitting from the camera. I just mean if you look at it head on, you can see, little red dots in there. Personally, I don't think it's a big deal. Again, like I said, solidly constructed. I'm quite happy with how it's worked out. Unfortunately, I don't know why they're getting so many mixed reviews. I think it's a great camera. Thanks.